you know what? I really love the film Frozen 2, in which the little snowman Olaf will say something like, "Oh, I wish this could last forever." Well, having seen what happened all around the world and the things that go on in Hong Kong, we know that that's not going to happen, no matter how much we want to hold on to the things that we treasure. And then this wise little snowman will start singing, "Some things never change." Sorry, I just really love this film. And yeah, let's think about that. In the golden ages of Hong Kong, with businesses celebrate success with tons of money, and in the most ordinary weeks of our lives, we want to make sure that our calendars are full with plans with our loved ones. And even during the most difficult times of the pandemic, we still want to celebrate with people around us despite limitations. Let's do some math here. If we try to add up all the time and money that we spend on celebration throughout our lives, too much information. That's more than our mortgage. And you know what? A lot of people like to ask me, "Oh, how come you look so young? How is that possible?" And I was like, well, I've worked in Hong Kong long enough to figure out there is one awesome and magical slogan to justify all absurdities that we may encounter professionally. "冇budget喎." Look at you, look at all of you. You have said it before, right? I know. Yeah. So, when we talk about budget, then that means we will have to think about, with all the money that we've spent on celebrations, are we achieving our goals? And have you really thought about what are these goals in the first place? And folks, you do realize that celebrations is an expensive investment, right? And the question is, how do we learn to do it right? So tonight I want to discuss with you that celebrations are not just about having a good time. They help us remember who we are and how we are part of this Earth community through imagining ecologically, so that we can learn, so that we all need to learn how to celebrate, so that we can all make sure that we are achieving our objectives and make this investment worthwhile. Wow, I sound like I'm selling you life insurance. Well, to get things started, it's always very relatable to talk about how we are celebrating nowadays. At my age, we are happy to receive a lot of wedding invitations from our friends and connections. And but then we admit it, we still feel a little bit of, time and money pressures. And we have all been talking about how wedding ceremonies nowadays are often about living up to the vanity of the society, right? Yeah, but then when it's our turn, we will still plan months ahead to make sure perfection, and preferably a break even. And during the wedding banquet, so when we are served with all the nice food, we may think about, how much did I pay? 1,000, 2,000? Oh, I'm gonna make sure that I eat more than that. Yeah, but not even halfway through the meal, you will be like, "Oh, I don't think I can eat anymore." But then you will still be like, keep eating and drinking more. But it does happen, right? But why so often? I mean, my questions are, is this the new norm? Well, are we dealing with some kind of social obligations, courtesy? I don't know. I really don't know. There's so many mixed feelings in these love and suffer scenarios. And I often feel like I'm just like the parents in the Japanese animated film. Not sure if you have watched it. Spirited Away. Unlike the parents, like, they become pigs because simply they are so greedy. And do you all share the feelings that the food nowadays no longer tastes as good as before? Scientific Americans suggest that an orange, no, but it's actually a grapefruit because I like grapefruit better. But anyway, an orange nowadays contains so much less nutrient than the same fruit from decades ago because of mass food production have degraded the land. Think about all the things that we use for celebrations, like food, fine wines, flowers, and decorations. They are basically all products of the land. What if one day we are literally left with nothing to celebrate with? What kind of a life will it be? And unfortunately, I have met a few students who happen to have missed all of their graduation ceremonies because of COVID. They don't even need to tell us, and we can easily imagine that it is traumatic. It would leave such a huge void in the memories. And what about for us? What if one day there will be no more Friday getaway, no more weekend, hangouts, or no more traveling to Japan and Thailand? All these nightmares have become a reality during the pandemic. And what is fascinating to see is how we have all adapted while we seem to get a better idea about what we really want to consume, what we really want to celebrate, and what we really want to achieve. Did you also have that kind of friends during all this time who have become coffee fanatics or maybe home chef? Well, you try to look at your phone and you will see that they're all over Instagram and all over YouTube. And pay attention to the way that they describe their experience. Yeah. They may tell you that, the flavors of the coffee, Colombia, Ethiopia, whatever. The unique stories of the land, of the climate, of the people, and how the process of, making coffee and savoring the coffee will make them feel so grounded, so, mindful and centered. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, really thoughtful, right? Even kind of philosophical or spiritual. But then, I'm thinking that perhaps this is how our celebration should all be as well. Not just about money and time, but something deeper that will lead our imagination to appreciate how we are bonding with planet Earth. Here, I would like to boldly introduce one concept of shamanism, which is not to, in Cantonese style it's called Satmun, which is not to be confused with witchcraft or mysticism. The historian of religion, Michel Eliade, emphasizes the transcultural role of shamans, and they exist in every culture all over the world. They will take up the role of cultural education for their society, and through holding ceremonies, they will tell us that we all have to connect with Father Sky and Mother Earth. Whoa, I know, this is like a huge leap on my train of thought from celebrations to shamanism, to from Father Sky to Mother Earth. Let me tell you about this. The way that I came across this concept may sound really familiar to all of you. Do you have that experience that late night, maybe 1 p.m., you just feel so brain dead? And then your inner Olaf will be like, oh, let's go to the unexplored side of YouTube and watch some clips. So my algorithm showed me a Peruvian shaman giving a prayer. So for those shamans, when they receive something nice, like, let me see what I have. an apple. They will do a prayer to thank Father Sky for giving them such a gift. And then they will also send a prayer to Mother Earth for the love. And then they will also bury some crops or beautiful flowers to express their gratitude and to give back to nature. So let me see what I've got. This is this beautiful camellia from my balcony. Yeah, that's my friend. I just got this morning. Yeah, so I'm gonna give this beautiful camellia, see the lights, to the TEDx conference, Hong Kong U. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to convince you to do such rituals, but consider the ways of imagining nature and compare that with our contemporary ways of appreciating like coffee, fine wine, or some luxurious stuff that you like. Yeah, the kind of words that we use to describe the enjoyment, the flavor, the textures, like characters, terroir, cépage. They basically reflect the uniqueness of the land from where they come from. Oh, I forgot. Like, this is expensive, you see. I'm going to say this for after the conference. Yeah. Our civilization can continue to thrive. Our memories can continue to develop because everything that we use to narrate our earthly existence and experience is a product of nature. When the shaman gets something from nature, they will know that they will have to give something back. That's the rule of life, and I believe that every one of us should bear it in mind. But I know that we all have been using and developing a lot of like kind of new and fancy ways to discuss the same banal topics. Like how our contemporary ways of consumption are so problematic. But somehow, these theories just don't sink in because they may not relate to something essential to our identities, something about our sentimental relationships with nature through imagination. I once worked for a big product company, and the analysts forecast that if our environment continues to deteriorate, very soon, one day, there will be no suitable land on earth for us to use their hero products. Like many other companies, environmental preservation has become such a fashionable and important brand pillars. Sounds great. And many of them do have taken a few initiatives to cut down on pollutions. But every time when it comes back to money and making profit, we will still continue to develop in a way as if we have unlimited resources for digital growth. We will continue to consume until we have nothing left to celebrate with. Well, we are no stranger to our paradoxical attitude to such ecological issues, because now we live in a culture, a religion of number and statistics. But we know that they don't speak into our imaginations, not into our feelings and not into our souls. Because, let's face it, we are not creatures of cold digits, and we are creatures of feelings. There can be many role models for us to learn how to live better lives. But I believe the salient questions are, which are the ways, which are the narratives that can help us celebrate life more fully? And which are the ways of viewing nature that can help us achieve a more sustainable future? We celebrate our important life events with products important from other countries. We celebrate our ideals through the culture that we are socialized into. And we celebrate our autonomy through the choices that we make. All this can change, but there is something that never changes. That is the land that we stand on and the sky that frames our world. I am no one to tell you how to celebrate because each one of us has a unique story with all our relations. All the birds, all the animals, and all the plants, all the trees, and all the people that we have walked along with, they make us who we are and what we have been. Here, I want to wrap up my speech with a beautiful ceremony that I've learned from the shaman. And to do that, I will have to show you the last slide of my PowerPoint. So let me see what I have. Fallen leaves from the lotus pond downstairs. I spent some time to collect them before the conference. So these are products of HKU. Thank you. Yeah. Imagine these are smartphones that connect you with Father Sky and Mother Earth so that you can call and talk to nature. Father Sky, Mother Earth, thank you for bringing us all here today at this TEDx conference so that we can all celebrate together for the sharing of beautiful ideas at this place that we call HKU. We know that everything that we have, our ideas, our inspirations, our feelings, our emotions, and our vitality is a gift from you. No matter where we go, we know that we are not defined by our socio-economic and political identities. We are define ourselves with the mountains, with the trees, with the sea, with the clouds, with the sky, with the landscape, with the rocks, with the people, with the plants, with all the animals, all the plants, and all the people that we grew up with in this beautiful city that we call Hong Kong, in all the other countries on this beautiful planet. Guide us by start reimagining nature. Help us remember who we are and help us find our way back to you. Something never change, like I'm holding on tight to you. Thank you.